who pleaded with him and said, Lord, remember me when you get into your kingdom. Jesus did reply to him and said, today shalt thou be with me in paradise. But the attention was not on the thieves. Y'all with me here? It was not on the thieves at all. Yet the focus was not on them. Y'all with me? It was on Jesus. And when Jesus had cried, now this was not a cry of pity, as some may suppose. This was not a cry of Jesus feeling sorry for himself. It was not even a cry of Jesus feeling sorry for us. He did show some pity in the first word when he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He had pity on us in the first word. Yes, Jesus was a man of sorrow and acquainted with grief. And yet this is not a pitiful cry, not at the last word. Even when he said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? That sounds like a cry of some pity. But Jesus was not pitying in this cry. This cry connects to the sixth verse, or to the sixth word. It is a cry continuing the victory. It is a cry, a glorious cry. Yes, Jesus did visit the grave of Lazarus. You remember what John wrote? John said, Jesus wept. That sounds like a cry of pity. Do I have a witness here? But this cry that we're talking about at this particular word is not a cry of pity. Listen to what he said. He cried with a loud voice. Usually at death, we don't expect people to cry with a loud voice. We're usually looking to hear some weak voice. We usually, as the old folks say, they're waiting for the death rattle. Y'all can help me for a minute. You know, but Jesus is not crying the kind of cry at his death that we're used to. Y'all can help me for a minute. We're used to hearing some weak person, some weak voice at least. We expect to hear a soft whisper. Y'all with me here? And so when Jesus cries, he cries now with a loud voice. Now I don't know when I come to die, I don't know how I'm going to behave. Don't know if my voice will be loud or low. But I hope that when I get to that time, I can be like Jesus. I wish I had a witness here. And have not a pitiful cry. I wish I had a witness here. Can I serve notice on somebody? We gonna die one day. One day we gonna lay on our dying bed. Don't know how long it's gonna be, but one day I'm gonna lay on my dying bed. I don't know if I'm gonna cry loud or if I'm gonna cry soft. Y'all can help me for me. He cried with a loud voice. You know when you got the victory. I started to shout like that. See, when you got the victory, you can shout with a loud voice. See, that's why sometimes folk don't understand the preachers when we make some noise sometimes. And they got a tendency to say, it don't take all that. It don't take all that noise. But if you know like I know what the Lord has done for me and how he brought me over heels and mountains, how he picked me up when I was down, how he made my darkness turn into light, then you can find out why I'm shouting. You can find out why I got a loud. Y'all can help me for a minute. You understand why when you got the victory, you can shout with a loud voice. I wish somebody helped me here. I understand what the songwriter meant when he said you don't have to wait until the battle is over. You can shout now. I wonder if I got anybody just shouting in your heart right now. I wonder if I got anybody just shouting in your heart right now. Because see, when I look at where I used to be and look at the Lord has brought me, I wish I had a witness here. Through many dangers, trials, and snares. Guess what, y'all? I'm not waiting to come through. I've already come. Y'all gonna pray with me here this morning. I can shout with a loud voice because I know where he's brought me from. he said. He said. He's always saying something. Oh, I wish I had a witness here. I said he's always saying something, but the question is, are you listening? Y'all can help me for a minute. You can tell by the way folk live. This is a bad English, but guess what? You can tell by the way folk live, they ain't listening. Do I have a witness here? You see, I believe Jesus ought to be like they said about E.F. Hutton. They say when E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody listen. When Jesus speaks, you ought to listen. Y'all with me here? Jesus said, he's always saying something. It was Jesus who said, man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Are you listening? Jesus said, I must be about my Father's business. But are you listening? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man coming unto the Father but by, I don't want to lose y'all. Y'all still with me? But the question is, are you listening? Jesus said, I and my Father are one. But are you listening? Jesus said, work while it is day, for the night cometh when no man can work. Are you? And when Jesus had cried with a loud voice, he said, Father, an endearing word. He called God Father at the beginning of the crucifixion, and then never again until the end of the crucifixion. There had been a brokenness in the middle of the crucifixion. It had been at the utterance of the fourth word. You remember, he said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Which is to say, my God. Notice he does not say Father, but he says, my God. Because you know, sometimes it's hard to say Father when the Father don't look like he's acting like a father. I wish I had some witnesses in here. It's hard to say Father when it looks like the Father is separated. I wish I had a witness here. Can I stop to tell you, we got some folk in the world that the children can't really call Father because they don't act like the Father. They're absent from the children, absent from the home. If you wanted to say Father, act like. Y'all pray with me here. I'll be done in a minute. At the fourth word, he does not call him Father. Do I have a witness here? Because it did not feel the closeness that had been there. Because it was at the fourth word that God, in a sense, turned his back on his son. I wish I had a witness here. But in reality, it was not so much on his son. But somebody told you already, but his son had the sins of the world on his shoulder. Y'all with me here? The son had my sins and your sins. Guess what? He had the sins that I haven't already committed yet. He had the sin of the world on his shoulder. This is the last word. I'm going to let y'all go in a minute, but this is the last word. Give me a minute for it. Just give me a minute. He looked at this situation, and he does not say Father, but he says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Y'all still with me here? This is Jesus as he dies on the cross. Y'all with me here? But now the Father and the Son are back on speaking terms. Don't it feel good when you've been gone a long time with folk you've been out of relationship with them, but now you're back in where y'all talking again? Oh, I wish I had some help here. They're back on speaking terms. And here he says, into thy hand. The hand that Ezekiel was talking about. When he said the hand of the Lord was upon him and carried me out in the midst of that was full of bones and caused